Thank you for joining us on another episode of Kinaway TV and our webinars. This one is pre-recorded because we are trying to get this to you at a time that suits you all best. So let us know in the comments or in some sort of feedback how this works for you, and we'll try to get more out at this time. So before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land in which I am coming to you all from. I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land in which everyone else is tuning in from, and pay respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. So if you haven't seen my face before, my name is Pridham, and I'm new to the Kinaway crew. I'm a Mara and Yanyuwa woman from Darwin in the NT, and I was originally from there, and now I'm in Melbourne, chasing dreams, and now using those skills to help out Kinaway in all things creative and a little bit administrative. Finally, before I introduce to you all our wonderful guest, I'd like to remind you all of the slew of information and videos that we have available to you through our YouTube and our Facebook. You'll see a lot more of the previous webinars that we've produced, and they have a lot of really informative business information and even well-being information, very much like the one we're going to do today. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce our guest, Brandon Hede.
Hey, Katani, how are you?
I'm good. Did I get
Good.
your last name right?
Hede.
Hede. See,
Hede.
everybody now knows through my mistake that it is Hede.
Hede. Don't worry, everybody gets it wrong.
I think I heard someone else in the office say Hede, and I thought that's what it was. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
Hede.
Hede.
Okay, so Brendan, what will this episode be about today? Would you like to give us?
Okay, yeah. Hi, Kinaway members. You may have seen a couple of videos of mine in the past, but basically my role is the wellbeing clinician for you guys working for Kinaway. So I'm available as a free service, which is completely confidential and completely private, and it's about your wellness. Your mental health, and it's for you, the business owners. It's also available to your staff. It's also available to your families. You have direct contact with me via a number 1-800 Kinaway, and you can call me anytime, Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, to discuss anything. Also partnered up with that is referrals to the Financial Counselling of Victoria. So if there are any financial issues that you've got that you're not sure about, give me a call. I can refer you on to those guys. Look, I'm a business owner in the past as well. There is a little bit of business knowledge in my background. So I cover a few bases, and you can tell by looking at me, I have life experience. There's nothing really out there that will shock me. So I'm available to you guys if you ever need a chat. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about, anxiety, stress, and a little bit on depression, but mainly stress and anxiety for business owners, during these uncertain times, particularly with the last 12 months we've had.
Beautiful introduction. Awesome. So, on our Instagram, we mentioned that this is a bit of a beginner's guide to mental health and well-being. So, a question that I thought would be good is what is depression and anxiety and stress? And that could sound like a really broad question, but how would that be universally recognized for people who are watching?
Yeah, okay. So anxiety, and I've just pulled up some numbers here. Anxiety on average, 1 in 3 women, 1 in 5 men will experience anxiety in their lifetime. Over 2 million people a year in Australia experience anxiety each year. Anxiety is more than um, just stressed or worried. While stress and anxious feelings are a common response to a situation where we feel under pressure, they usually pass once the stressful situation has passed or the stressor is removed. Anxiety is when these anxious feelings don't go away, when they're ongoing and can happen without any particular reason or cause. It's a serious condition and makes it hard to cope with daily life. Everyone feels anxious from time to time, but for someone experiencing anxiety, these feelings aren't easily controlled.
Yeah. So, yeah, I personally take medication for anxiety. So, those of you watching, if you're nervous or feel overwhelmed about thinking about that sort of stuff in relation to yourself, once you start to take those steps for your own mental health, it is really important and really beneficial to you as well. Um, and I'm sure Brendan can agree with that.
Yes,
uh,
yes, wholeheartedly, wholeheartedly.
what sort of strategies did you give to people during COVID who were feeling anxieties and stress? Did you
Yeah,
have any?
look, symptoms for anxiety are fairly same across the board. It's really not that particular about what you're going through at the moment. Like we've all been through a bit of stuff last year, and we're still trying to manage our business and stay productive. But if there was stress and anxieties, then there can be triggers that can, like for example, the recent lockdown for 5 years. That could be a bad trigger. So look, there are some real simple sort of almost agreed worldwide by all top psychologists and psychiatrists in how we can deal with our well-being and our anxiety and our stresses. There are some quick tips, and if you'd like some quick tips, I'll go through them. Okay, so one of the most popular one is actually breathing techniques. Now, I know what everyone's thinking, oh, breathing, tell me to breathe in, breathe out. Um, and yeah, a lot of people say, no, I'm not going to waste my time. But you know what? It's actually really quite good for you. And it can relax you. And at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. When we're dealing with stress and anxiety, we need to relax. So breathing techniques, just quickly, the 4-7-8 method. The 4-7-8 method is find yourself at a quiet spot during the day. Now, whether that's on the end of your bed in the morning or in a chair that's comfortable at work when everyone's out and there's no one around, you can do this. And it is breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7 seconds, breathe out for 8 seconds. You spend longer exhaling. And the reason you do that is, when we hyperventilate, we're taking in too much carbon dioxide, and that's how a panic attack can set in. So this method of breathing is the complete opposite. It's to let all the carbon dioxide out of your body. So you spend a bit longer exhaling than you do inhaling. And exhale fully, and then take a deep breath for 4 seconds, then exhale for 6 seconds. Another one is the muscle relaxation. So you can do this while you're breathing. If not, what I call it is a body scan. This technique helps you focus on yourself and release some tension throughout what you might be holding in your body. So breathe in and tense your muscles in your face. Squeeze your eyes shut. Clench your jaw. Keep your face tense for 5 seconds, and gradually relax your muscles over the time it takes to count to 10. Then take a deep breath, and if you want, you can say the words relax as you relax. Next, you move on to your neck, your shoulders, and gradually move all the way down your body. It's a great technique. It's called a body scan, and it will relax all your muscles.
I've never heard that one before.
No, yeah,
That's a
yeah,
good one. I like it. I'm going to try
yeah.
it.
Other common strategies is focus on the present. Have you ever noticed that feeling stressed and anxious often coincides with dwelling on the past or worrying about the future? So focusing your mind on the present at the moment can help you feel a little bit more relaxed. Another technique you can do to help focus on the present is notice 5 things you can smell. Notice 5 things you can see. Notice 5 things you can touch, hear. These kind of little exercises keeps you in the present and stops your mind from going back to something that has happened, and it also stops your mind from going forward, predicting some kind of negative outcome. Another method would be to take a break. Schedule regular breaks into your day. Excuse yourself for 5 or 10 minutes. Go to a different room, or put aside what you've been doing to take a walk around, try some breathing exercises, get some fresh air, especially on a day like today. Make the most of it. I think it's back down to 15s and 16s over the weekend. Make the most of this kind of nice weather, fresh air, even some light stretching, just to help you relax. Another one is, and this is one I'm a big believer in, talk to someone you trust about how you're feeling. Just talking to someone, whether it's a loved one or a best friend, someone that you can trust. It doesn't have to be that. If you don't have anyone like that in your life, speak to a GP, speak to your wellness clinician, but speak to someone. It's really good to get a few things off your chest. You feel just a whole lot better once you've done that. There are some more long-term strategies dealing with stress and anxiety, but for short-term strategies, they're probably the best ones.
Beautiful. Um, I'm sure we'll get into some long-term strategies. I believe that you did want to cover that today. Um, but something that you mentioned, which I think would be good to clarify, just for people who may have heard the word thrown around, especially on the internet, or just heard it, but you mentioned triggers.
Yep.
And I was just wondering if you might be able to explain what a trigger is or how it
Yep.
makes people feel.
Yeah, great question. Recognizing what causes your anxiety can help you better understand and face what's going on. Now, some common triggers are alcohol, caffeine, drugs, a stressful work environment, um, a stressful home environment, a stressful school environment for the students. Um, Driving and traveling, that can be a trigger for some people. Um, Withdrawal or side effects from certain medications can also be a trigger. Phobias, health issues or concerns, erratic eating patterns, like if you skip a meal, your blood sugar may drop, which can lead to being jittery and anxious. So knowing your trigger doesn't mean you should avoid them. Some ongoing stresses, such as your job, need more time to break down. But yeah, triggers, avoid drugs, avoid alcohol, avoid those kind of stimulants. Stimulants are chemicals that excite your nervous system, making it work faster and harder. Your stimulants can worsen your anxiety symptoms. So cutting these out can really help you manage your anxiety.
Excellent. Sounds like I've got to cut all of that out personally.
Yeah, yeah. And look, remember too, everyone, that everyone is different when it comes to stress and anxiety. Everyone has different symptoms. Everyone has different triggers, and everyone has different strategies to manage it. So we're doing a real brief talk about anxiety and stress. But if any of this sort of, strikes any chords with you, and we're on the right path, at least you know where to start and how you can start just to keep yourself well.
Yeah, that's perfect. Um, so I was just wondering, with some of the long-term strategies, did you have things that you wanted to mention to our viewers today? Um,
Yeah, look, yeah, I do. Look, put some relaxation and self-care into your routine. So that means exercise, but try and exercise at the same time each time you want to do it. It becomes a schedule, a routine. Now, I'm not saying you need to go and walk for 30 minutes every day at 8 o'clock in the morning, but something like that. Whether it's every second day, every third day, or even if it's just every second Friday, but do it and own it. And if it is whatever time of the day it is, make it happen. Make it happen. There is an old rule of thumb that if you do something 11 times in a row, it becomes a habit. And those kind of healthy habits of exercise and walking, the deep breathing. And when we talk about those deep breathing techniques, you just when you're stressed out, you just don't sit on the end of the bed while you're stressed out and go, right, I've got to do this breathing that Brendan told me to do. Because ultimately we want that breathing to start with. You can do it for 5 minutes. And then ultimately you can do it for 10 minutes. Now, a lot of people say, I didn't have time, I'm busy, and I get that. Start with 5 minutes, work up to 10 minutes, and then ultimately, what I would like to see is people doing it twice a day for 10 minutes. That is a great long-term strategy for your anxiety and stress.
Excellent. If any of our viewers are going to do that, I'll be your breathing buddy. I'm taking personal notes throughout this whole call.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you have any other information that you'd like to share with us that you have with you today?
Look, other little bits and pieces you can do, guys, is have a look at your diet. Eat well, and I'm not talking about changing everything. You're still allowed to have your pizza on Saturday nights, and you're still allowed to go to Macca's on the weekends. But when I talk about eat well, is if you do, like your meat and three veggies or something like that during the week, at lunchtime. I don't know, but buy a dozen apples, stick them in a fruit bowl, and take one to work. Just add a little bit of goodness to your diet. I know that takes effort because you've got to go to the shops, you've got to find the right apples, and sometimes you'll forget. And don't beat yourself up about that. You're trying, but try and get into the habit of just putting some more goodness through your body. And the other really good thing you can do is focus on getting some really good sleep. A lot of us don't sleep well. There are lots of reasons for that, and there are lots of different strategies around improving your sleeping patterns. But sleep is a big one. Make sure you're getting your rest. So if you're having trouble with that, again, reach out or even Google it yourself and do some research and you find some simple strategies. But I can also help you with that as well. But yeah, move, eat well, get some good sleep, you'll be fine. The last thing I'd just like to touch on is, or one of the last things, is reaching out for help. Uh, it's a difficult thing to do sometimes. I've been a business owner and I never asked for help when probably when I look back now, I probably should have. But it can be a really difficult thing to do when you're experiencing anxiety, when you're experiencing stress. And I'm not saying you have to reach out for me. You can reach out, as I said earlier, to a loved one, a trusted friend, have a talk to someone. You see the messages about mental health going on at the moment, which is reach out to a mate or reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, reach out to your wellness clinician, reach out to your GP. Anyone, reach out, put your hand up, and just have a talk to someone about what's going on. That's your first step when you're not feeling well. Stress and anxiety. If you've got the symptoms, you're not feeling well, you're more irritated, you've got lack of concentration. There's a whole heap of different symptoms that go on for everybody. But if they're creeping in, guys, don't let it creep any further. Reach out in some way.
Beautiful. And what was that easy little number to remember?
1-800 Kinaway, Katani. You should know that.
Yeah,
You'd know that one backwards, wouldn't you?
I wanted to
One eight
just,
hundred Kinaway. Like I said, guys, I've been in this mental health space full time now for nearly 5 years, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm learning every day, and everybody is different. I'm easygoing, relaxed, and easy to talk to. There's been, I've helped out a few guys already, and the feedback's been really good. So, yeah, 1-800 Kinaway during the week, 9 till 5. My name is Brendan, and I'm definitely here for a chat and to help you.
that's so beautiful. Well, I think that that was a really good beginner's guide, Brendan. Do you?
Yes, happy with that, Katani. Happy
Yay!
with that. And hopefully, as time goes on, we might be able to have a different themed kind of chat. If
Yes,
there's any feedback from any of the members, if they'd like a little bit more info on anything in particular when it comes to this sort of fun stuff,
yes,
please don't be afraid to put it in an email or send it to us, and we'll put something together. The idea is not to ram it down anyone's throats. We might do one of these once every so often,
yep.
but if we get some good feedback and if there are any particular themes that come back to us, we'll do something else next time.
Yay, sounds great.
Mm,
I'll be on the lookout for any feedback and I'll also
yep,
get brainstorming. But yeah, I love
yep.
these sorts of conversations. So this is awesome. And thank you so much for joining me
You're
uh,
welcome. Thanks for
and
organising,
letting me join
Tony.
you
Well done. Beg your pardon?
and for letting me join you
Yeah,
on
no,
your
thanks for being
webinar.
here. It's been good. It's been good.
All right, I want to hit stop on our record.